Hello, welcome to Process Guy. This is the part 7 of the series, so you want to learn HTML. In this video, we will be looking at forms, input elements, label, select options, and text area. In today's tutorial, we will be building an online admission to a university. We start off with HTML form elements. Forms are used to collect user inputs and most of the time sent to the server for further processing. The form element is kind of a container to house the content of the form. That means every other element we will be talking about will be nested within the form element. Because we are building an admission form, we need to provide some basic information, which will include and not limited to the name, gender, date of birth, faculty, and so on of the person that is applying for the course. So let's start with the name of the applicant, which will be captured with the input element. The input element has different types. The type of input element you will use is based on the form you are building at the moment, and also the information you want to accept from the user will determine the input type to use. The type attribute of the input element determines what will be rendered to the browser. To be able to capture the name of the applicant, we need to set the type attribute to text. Text allows us to capture a single line text input from the user. The next information we need to capture now is the gender, and this requires another type of input element, which is a radio box. A radio box allows you to select only one option from list of options. In order to use the radio box successfully, we need to use it in conjunction with label elements. The purpose of the label is to make the option clickable and to provide a visual representation of the options for the radio type. Let's type the first gender value, which is male, then specify the input element and set the type attribute to radio and the name attribute to gender. Now that you've seen the result, we can then duplicate from label and create for female and for another option, third option, just for you to see how it will look like. Up next is the applicant's date of birth. Except date of birth, we use date as the value of the type attribute. Up next is the text area element. Unlike text input, this can capture multiple line text from user. We can therefore use this element to capture the applicant's address. It has a rows attribute, which allows you to capture the number of line items you want to make visible at a go. Moving on to the next element. Select element is used to create a drop-down list of options. It requires the options element to work properly. This information we want to capture from the user is the faculty they want to apply to. We introduce select element and then we use the option element to capture all the faculty we need. Continuing from our input type, we have input type called number. This input type allows us to capture only numbers. So let's say we need to capture the number of subjects the applicant took in college. Let's see the results. We have to set the type attribute value to number. Next is the opposite of radio box, which is checkbox. This allows a user to select one or more options. It uses the same label and input element. We will use this to specify the applicant's favorite subjects. Next is the email input type. This makes sure that the user enters an email address into the input box. Next is the password input text. You guessed it. It hides whatever you type into the input box. And finally, the submit input type. It allows you to submit your form to the server for further processing. The value attribute is used to specify what should be written on top of the button. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, share, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification to encourage us to make more content like this. If you have any feedback for us, kindly drop it in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Thank you.